I think it's called feeding into a person's um, attitude or what they doing, saying wrong. You know, I call it feeding
Like you
into it.
feed, y'all, you feed off each other. When
That,
one get
yeah.
angry, then the other one get angry, and it just keep getting worse and worse.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And now I'm consistently saying, don't feed the beast. So feed the thing that you want more of, and starve the thing that you want less of. Even though that can be hard to do, finding your calm is one of the hardest things. As a matter of fact, oh, you guys know what? I actually I went over that with a group that I was dealing with. It was an employer agency staff development group. Earlier today, we were talking about find your calm, and I was telling them that the two top ways. Oh, I should have shared this. The two top ways to do that is to, first of all, be familiar with the concept of emotion soaking that I share in the Lafaya Way series. Is what all of it's based in anyway. And that's the unintentional sponging of the negative energies of other people. So basically when somebody is upset, then now you become upset. Somebody's anxious, now you become anxious when you were fine before you got around them. Somebody's depressed, now you become depressed because now you're drawing from that energy. And when you're an emotion soaker, most of the time emotion soakers don't like being around a lot of people because there's too much emotion everywhere and they just feel like bombarded and overwhelmed. Some of them may not be able to explain it or express it in that way, but if you pay attention, somebody who's like truly sensitive, they won't like being around a bunch of people. Like me. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't like being around a whole bunch of people at the same time because people have too much going on inside of them, and I feel every single piece of it. It's like, ooh, I hate you. Like when I was younger, it was like I hate everybody. Like just stay away from me. And now that I understand that, I've been able to kind of create certain boundaries for myself, understanding that all this stuff that tries to come inside of me is not from me. And now I create a space between myself and it, and I hold the it in that space, which is what keeps me able to do the work that I do. Otherwise, the work that I do now had driven me crazy when I was younger. But emotion soaking is a very important dynamic to be aware if you are sensitive in that way, to be aware of, because somebody could come in with a whole bunch of madness and junk, and they would just look at them and not feel a thing. They'd be like, ooh, seems like you're having a hard time today. When somebody else is acting up, no matter what they're saying, right? Seems like you should really do something about that, right? And there are others on the other end who are going to match the upset and become even more upset and all this other kind of stuff and engage in all that stuff. Right. Even though some of that can get into kind of personality and temperament kind of stuff, some of that you also have to pay attention to the fact that a lot of times it has to do with some of that emotion soaking. And then when you are taking in another person's negative energy, and now you have all this negative energy inside of you, then you're feeding back into them. And if they're a strong emotion soaker, like times 100 type emotion soaker, then you're feeding back into them the negative energy now coming from you. And you guys are just basically feeding off of each other, creating this big, and it gets bigger and big, like the snowball effect is what I call it, bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you have all this craziness going on when at first it was a simple thing, right? So emotion soaking is something important to take into account, taking into account how you are yourself doing. If you are, and I always tell you guys about HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you are going to be more highly reactive, less able to resist when somebody's coming at you in a negative way, or you're going to be less able to resist a lot of negative stimuli. You're going to be like, oh, heck no. Oh, wrong one, wrong day, whatever, kind of stuff when you're either hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So pay attention sometimes to if you have any of those things going on for yourself. If you've had long work days, if you haven't been getting enough rest. A lot of times people with pain issues, a lot of people with some, if there's some chronic stress element in your life, you're going to have less tolerance. That's the word I wanted to say. Tolerance for other people's sensitivities. Whereas if you're having a good day, eating well, you're feeling relaxed, you're feeling pretty happy, you're well rested and all that. A lot of times some of that stuff will just kind of slide off your back like, oh, you seem a little upset today. Right? So you guys keep that emotion soaking part in mind. And then that secondary piece of personalizing what the other person is saying as if you don't know that what they're saying is not the truth. Treating what another person is saying with any strong reaction when they're not telling the truth is, if you guys will think about it, logically, it's asinine. So the way that I heard it, and I think I said it before, is you have to treat somebody saying something absolutely ridiculous as if they had just walked up to you and said, and actually, I think you kind of are me laughing, but if they walked up to you and said, it walked up to you and said, you're a purple and yellow dragon.
Okay.
Because if somebody says to you that you're a purple and yellow dragon, because that carries no truth, you're not even dignifying that with any form of trying to defend yourself. And no, I'm not purple and yellow and getting all mad. That's just the same as if you're not cheating and somebody's coming up to you accusing you that you're cheating. No, I'm not. Nope. I'm gonna treat it just like you call me a purple and yellow dragon. I'll be like, well, that's a strange thing to say.
That's really interesting how you just put that. Wow, that was good. That was good.
That's a strange thing to say. What? Wow. You know, that's just so far away from where I'm even at all. I kind of don't even know what to say. You okay? You know, kind of thing, right? So then it's really just, you know, it's treating it like as it truly is. Because see, we don't want to entertain the lie.
Right. Wow.
We don't want to entertain the thing that's not the truth. We don't want to entertain the things that are trying to pull us into calamity and loss of control and ridiculousness. We want to entertain the things that bring us into peace. We want to talk about and think about and be about and focus on the things that make sense. So if we're gonna make sense, I'm gonna engage in this conversation. If you're not gonna make sense, because it's not gonna be we. If you're not gonna make sense, I'm not engaging.